Hey garden friends, happy Thursday. Time for another Facebook Live. So as we're waiting for people to join, do us a favor, comment below, tell us where you're from and your favorite garden center in your area. I'm gonna do this every week because right now we need to be giving our garden centers as much love as possible. So comment below where you're from and your favorite garden center. And then as we're kind of waiting to really start talking about the plants, I thought it would be a perfect time to talk about shipping because there are so many plants leaving this greenhouse right now. Now you may or may not know this, but we've been shipping plants for many years and there's literally been millions of plants that have left this greenhouse door. We are really good at shipping plants. Now, another little to be fair, to be honest thing is actually the majority of the Proven Winners plants that you see in the US came right from these greenhouse doors. So we've been doing this for a long time and shipping plants is not easy and it's not cheap, but we've done it and we keep perfecting because we want to make sure that if you can't find what you're looking for at your local garden centers, that we've got what you want and that we're going to get it to you safely. So if you're just joining, if you weren't here in the beginning, drop us a comment below. Tell us where you're from and your favorite garden center. Maybe you guys will connect with somebody in the same area and learn something new or find a new garden center that you haven't visited before. And I love scrolling through the comments after this is all said and done and seeing your guys' favorite things. I've been looking them up, the ones that aren't in the area. Wouldn't it be so fun to do a weekend trip and visit all the different garden centers that aren't in our areas? Anyways, all right, back to shipping plants. So as I said, millions of plants have been shipped out of these greenhouse stores. And of those millions, we have 99.83% successful deliveries. We know what we're doing. And it can be scary to order plants online. I understand that. And not every order is going to arrive perfect. We're literally taking our beautiful little plant friends, putting them in a box, and shipping them across the country in an airplane or a truck, you name it. And in the heat of the summer, it becomes even more difficult. So we have different processes in place to make sure that your plants arrive healthy and ready for your gardens. Now, it's in a box. They're in a box for at least 2 days, sometimes more. So when you get them, they're going to be stressed out. None of us would like to be shoved in a box for 2 days. It would stress us out too. They're living things. So they're going to be stressed. The stressed plant can look a little tired. It can be droopy, probably needs a really good drink of water. On top of that, there could be broken limbs, some blooms that are lost. But the really great thing about this is that does not impact the overall health of your plants. They are the strongest, most healthy roots that you can get and amazing genetics, you guys. That's really what it's all about when we are purchasing Proven Winners plants. It's all about the roots and it's all about the genetics. So if you receive your order and it's been a little beat up or it's a little sad looking, do like you normally would. The quicker you get those babies in the ground, the happier they're going to be. They just need some sunshine. They need a good drink of water. Fertilize them really good to give them that shot of nutrients. They're going to perk back up and be wonderful and make you so very happy. Now, I'm not saying that that is every single case, right? There are certainly scenarios where a poor plant has just been pummeled during shipping. That's why we have plant warranties on all of our plants. So if you received a shipment and it's pretty beat up, take some pictures, email our customer service help desk at provenwinnersdirect.com. Send us the photos, send us your order number, let us take a peek. We've got a bunch of plant experts ready to help you out. They can guide you if it's like, oh, that's okay, that's gonna be okay, go ahead and plant it. Or they can be like, okay, we're gonna send you another one, let's try this again. Our main mission is to make sure that you have a successful garden experience at home with Proven Winners plants. That is our main mission. We want to make sure that our customers are happy. And that is why we have a 99.83% success rate, okay? The other part about shipping plants right now is that it's obviously just a little bit earlier. Like for those of us, we are here in Southeast Michigan. We're not quite past our frost-free time period. So we're not all planting as much as you lucky folks in the warmer climates. So like I mentioned before, plants are living things. They all grow at their own pace in the same way that you and I do. Sometimes that's too slow, and sometimes that's too fast. So if you place an order and you see our beautiful pictures on the website of what your plants are going to end up being, and you receive your order and they're a little bit on the small side, I want to show you an example. So like, for example, this angel face. This isn't flushed out, right? When you compare it to this salvia. Those blooms are kind of hanging tight. Your plants might be a little bit small, or they might not be completely flushed out. That does not mean that they are not a healthy, strong plant. They just need a little bit more sunshine. But we know that when you are ordering, you're ready to plant. So we do our absolute best to get you your order on time. So if you receive a smaller plant, do not worry. It's still got those strong roots and those amazing genetics, and it's going to pop off before you know it. Sunshine, water, fertilizer. So with that, also the angel face, side note on that, angel face takes a little bit of time anyways. Most of them aren't going to be completely flushed out. They love the summer heat, and we just don't have that yet here in Michigan. So just a little sidebar on that. So I know, all of this is a lot, and it's numbers, and it's specific, and buying plants online can be scary, but we're really good at it. And I would not be standing here putting myself out there on Facebook Live in front of all of you glorious gardeners if I did not believe in what we do here at Proven Winners Direct. I believe in it, we are good at it, and I'm confident in that. So if you can't find what you're looking for at your local garden centers, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you check us out online, provenwinnersdirect.com. Now, if you've just joined and you missed the very beginning, leave a comment below. Tell us where you're from and tell us your favorite garden center. Let's give them all kinds of love right now because spring is here and it is planting season. Any questions so far?
No questions, but we got Kate from Miller's Farm Market, Kate from Utica, Ohio, shops at Miller's Farm Market and says the background is gorgeous.
Isn't it? All these upright combinations. I can't wait to plant.
And we got Morgan from Monroe who shops at Perrin's Greenhouse in Ida, Michigan.
Love Perrin's, love Perrin's. Hopefully I can get there this weekend. The weather, I don't think we're past our frost-free zone yet here in Michigan, but things have been pretty consistently up in the 60s, and it looks that way for our 10-day forecast, so I am ready to plant. Ripped out a few shrubs last weekend, so we need to replace it with something fresh and new this weekend. Awesome. Thanks so much for your comments, Kate and Morgan. Go give those garden centers some love. All right, shall we talk about these beauties here in front of me, which I know everybody is dying to hear about. So these are called our limited edition Royale annuals. And the reason they have that, the limited edition, is because we only grow them at the beginning of the season. We continue to grow product all year round so that gardeners across the country, you guys can keep ordering from us even in September, October, November, December. People in Florida, you are so lucky, and we'll make sure we have product for you. But these guys are limited editions. One shot, we do one bulk of them, and when they're gone, they're gone. So that's why we have them called limited edition. They're called a Royale because of their container size. So these are grown longer in the greenhouse, almost double the time that it takes to grow our Eco Plus Grande containers. So what that means is, A, we get to love on them a little bit longer, but B, as you can see, you're getting a much more mature plant because they've been growing for longer. So if you are looking for instant impact, I highly recommend the Royales. As you can see, we have a whole different slew of different plants, varieties, styles, thrillers, fillers, spillers, anything that you need for your containers and in the landscape. So I've got Miss Bubblegum and Queen Jazzberry here right in front. You can see the difference in those plants. It's a much bigger container. There's more soil, more room for root growth. They're already established and ready for your garden. If you were to plant one of these in the landscape, so an Eco Plus Grande, one bubblegum plant will fill at least 3 feet of space in the landscape, and it will spill at least 3 feet over your containers. You've got quite a head start with this, okay? So it's going to fill in quicker for you. So if you need that instant impact, grad party moms, this was a solution for me when my oldest graduated, because I think it was like beginning of June, first week of June, we had his party. I'm in Michigan. Nothing is big the first week of June. Start big. It's an easier, faster impact. So grad party moms, Royales are your answer. I think that really covers the benefit. You can plant these, as I said, in the landscape or in containers. If you are doing containers, let's say you are doing a beautiful dahlia as your thriller or filler in your containers, I would recommend making sure you have at least a 14-inch, better would be 16-inch or bigger container. Because as I mentioned, lots more soil, a lot bigger roots, okay? And those roots are going to continue to grow as the plant continues to grow. So you want to make sure it has enough space to breathe and get all the nutrients and keep growing. Any questions so far? Okay.
Questions and comments here. Katie says, look at the adorable little trellises in front. She loves the yellow flower. And she is from Erie, Michigan, and shops out of Flat Rock.
Thank you, Katie. That is the Black-Eyed Susan vine. They are going to keep growing. They are very vigorous. They'll vine up any trellis. Gorgeous pop of color.
And Sandy asks, what's the email address if she wants to inquire questions about her shipment?
Okay. That is helpdesk@provenwinnersdirect.com. Help, H-E-L-P, desk, D-E-S-K, at provenwinnersdirect.com. That's our customer service. And then the phone number is PW Plant. 1-800-PW-PLANT, P-L-A-N-T, if you want to give us a call. You can do chat right from our website. We've got customer service reps waiting to answer your questions. If that's easiest, you don't have to remember anything. Just go to the website. You'll see in the bottom, I think it's the bottom right corner, it'll say chat with us. Click on that and you can start chatting.
And Lynn asks, do you have any SuperTunias that are orange or coral colored? And she shops at Sunscape Farms in Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York. So you're like us, patiently waiting. Orange or coral. So Bermuda Beach, SuperTunia Bermuda Beach, has been around for a couple of years. Last year, they improved it. I grew it last year. We have it as a 2025 new variety, and I was blown away. That is very corally. It's beautiful. I think that it's not a vista. Bermuda Beach is not a vista, but it's so vigorous that I think that it could be. It took over. It took over for me in my combinations. That I think is going to be your truest coral. Orange, probably not in a tunia, but we have them in the super bells. I think there's a double orange, there's tangerine punch. The sunset coral is also really pretty in the bells. But for your SuperTunias, coral, Bermuda Beach. Stunner and so easy to grow. Good question.
And Vic says, can't wait to get my garden ready with PW pots. We do most of our shopping at Perrins as well in Ida.
Katie, Vic, let's plan a weekend. Let's go to Perrins together. That would be so fun. I would seriously love to do that. Have this huge meetup at a garden center and all of us with our big carts just walking around like sassy girls, buying all the plants up. That would be so fun. That would be a dream.
And Olivia says, hi, Nikki. I love to get my Proven Winners combos from my local Dundee FFA chapter in Dundee, Michigan.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. Dundee's close to us. That's so cool. I love that. Helping local.
And Krista says, what is the plant on your left-hand side in the front of the table?
Well, not sure. Red, this is the new unplugged red salvia. The white is the new unplugged white salvia. This guy is, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I was right. Skyrocket, beautiful grass. I'm not sure which way on the left. Sorry. So I'm going to keep going. Truffula. This is a strong, strong plant. Landscapes and containers. Strong plant. Lots of awards. And the only other one on my left is the angel face, perfectly pink. Hopefully that was the right ones.
Olivia says, Tropical Sunrise Super Bell is a great option for coral as well.
Love that one. And it's orangey, reddish. It's got all the tropical vibes. Love it.
And Vic says she'd love to do a PW flash mob at Perrins sometime.
Flash mob at Perrins? Sign me up. Vic, email me. Let me know when. I'm in. That would be so fun. Perrins would love us for that. All right, let's talk about some of these plants. Lots of different options. That's one thing. So we started Royales last year, and we'd never had them before. but they work so well in the landscape and they fill up so fast that it was like, we have to do this. And all of your garden centers will carry, you know, this size container. So we should have it too, right? So we started this last year. It was a very slow roll. So what we did this year was we figured out, what is everybody using? What is everybody planting? We made sure we had our top sellers, bubblegum, jazzberry. We made sure we had thrillers, fillers, and spillers. We made sure we had those tough as nails landscape plants, lemon coral sedum, always a top seller, cannot be beat. Lots of different options, colors, variety, styles. That was my goal, was to make sure we had something for everyone in these Royales. So we can start with, sun, shade. So we'll start with a cutie little shade. I love ferns. I don't know about you guys, but I love, love, love ferns. My mom gifted me some. I have no idea what the variety is. It's probably a very old traditional fern, but mine are now popping up in the backyard and it makes me so happy. I love ferns. This is the Kimberly Queen. So I'm not sure, they get about 24 to 36 inches tall and wide. So this is a good size fern. Plop it in your container, which actually I might do. Obviously it's a little bit small versus going to the garden center and getting a big one, but this baby's gonna grow fast. This is a good one for the shade. Containers, you can throw it in the landscape as well. Just make sure you're giving it some shade. This is a new one this year. We've never had the Kimberly fern before on PWD. Keep going.
A couple comments here. Krista said skyrocket was the plant she was asking about.
Perfect. That's a beauty. It's gonna keep filling out, and oh my gosh, the movement. That is my favorite part about the graceful grasses. Let me tell you how big it'll get. I don't know off the top of my head. 24 to 30 inches, so not too big. So you could tuck this in anywhere. But that grass is so gorgeous. All that movement, all that texture. Great, great choice.
And Charlene asks, can we come purchase flowers from the greenhouse?
I wish. That would be so fun. I would enjoy that thoroughly, but we do not sell directly to consumers from the greenhouse. Just online, provenwinnersdirect.com.
And Lynn asks, if I get a climber like the one on the trellis in front of you and plant it in a container, do I just add a taller trellis and leave it on the trellis as it is now, thinking it would be hard to untangle to put in their own trellis?
Agree completely, and that's exactly what I would do. Now, some of them, like this guy here, it's got two main shoots. This would probably be easy enough to untangle from the current trellis if that would bother you. I know it kind of depends on where your container is, and some of us, like sometimes some things would like that would really bother me, other times it's like, who cares? But I think that you would be able to untwine this just fine. The bigger it gets though, the more it grows, the longer we have it here in the greenhouse, that'll become more difficult. But I think right now, you could still do it. So you could leave the trellis, add a bigger one behind, and it will obviously continue to grow, or you could probably separate it and just do one big trellis. Your choice. That's the best part about gardening.
Got a comment here from Ashley. Just took my mom and daughter to Perrins and Ida this afternoon and shouted white pots only. I used Nikki's helpful information from last week's video to pick out my plants.
I love that. Thank you so much, Ashley. That's it, man. The second we walk in, we're beelining for those white pots. I love that so much, that Proven Winners makes it easy for us. We can shop anywhere and we know what we're getting. We know what we're getting, those white pots. I love that. Thank you, Ashley. I hope they're beautiful and they grow so big for you and make you so happy.
Got a question if we ship hydrangeas.
We do ship hydrangeas. We absolutely do, and we have so many. All of your favorites and some. So many hydrangeas. And actually, it's super easy to find them on the site, provenwinnersdirect.com. There is a nav bar at top, and it'll say Shrubs with a drop-down, hydrangeas right there. Or if you keep scrolling down the main page, I think there's 2 different spots you can get to hydrangeas. We've got them all. Arborescens, macrophyllus, panicles, oak leaves. All the goodies. Let me see if I have a favorite. Right now, a favorite would be Sky View for your macrophyllus. Man, those colors. It's beautiful, beautiful colors. An all-time, no matter what favorite, and actually I'm planting more in my front yard, hopefully this weekend, is the limelights. I'm actually doing an experiment. Sorry, we're derailing here, but I've got 3 limelights planted on the left side of my front porch. And then I ripped out 2 big 8-foot blue cedar bushes this past weekend, so now everything is open, and I'm like, oh goodness. So I'm doing 3 limelight primes on the right side of the porch. So it'll give me a good idea of the difference between the original and amazing Limelight Panicle and then the Limelight Prime. So I'm super excited about that. Panicles are probably my favorite for here in Michigan because you can't go wrong. They're so easy to grow. I can whack them all the way down and they come back, or I can let them do their thing and they're just fine. Yes, lots of hydrangeas on the site. Derailed.
Olivia says she always uses Royales for her thrillers, so they start off bigger than everything else.
Yes.
And then, what's Nikki's favorite thriller?
My favorite thriller. All of them. A couple newest favorites would be anything in like the Colocasias or the Alocasias. The new Emerald Isle is gorgeous. That's my plans for this year. I've done the coffee cups probably 3 years in a row. Absolutely love, and those are also great in the ground. And for smaller containers, like those are used for my big, huge, giant, I don't even know, probably 20-inch containers. I've got 2 big, tall ones by my garage, so I always go big for those thrillers. For my other combinations, I love salvia. I love, love, love salvia. There's all different kinds, all different colors. You cannot go wrong with any of them. They fill out so nice. And I would say third favorite, because we always have to have 3. We're gardeners, we plant in 3s, would be angel face. Same thing. And man, once the heat of the summer kicks in, those babies take off and they're stunning.
Gracie commented this when you were talking about do we ship hydrangeas. She can't wait to see it.
Thank you, Gracie. Thanks for watching again. That's my daughter, everyone, and she's adorable. Okay, good? All right, so we talked about some thrillers. So let me talk a little bit more about our SuperTunias. I know most of you probably already know about SuperTunias. If you don't, if you are new to Proven Winners, if you are new to gardening, I cannot stress enough. Start with SuperTunias. You cannot be disappointed by these. So Bubblegum here has won almost 300 awards. We send all of our Proven Winners plants out to be tested and trialed in community gardens across the country, from Michigan all the way down to California and all the states in between. And we do that for one reason and one reason only: gardener success. SuperTunia line has won the most awards because they are foolproof to every level of gardener. So if you're just starting out and you don't know where to start, you pick your favorite color and then you find a SuperTunia to match. Bubblegum and Jazzberry are vistas, so that's why we grew them in the Royales, because if you want to talk about instant impact, look out. These guys are going to get exploding so very soon. But their vistas are very vigorous growers. They grow fast. So they're going to get to be about 3 feet wide. They have a nice mound. They spill out if you're planting them in containers. Mine typically reach the bottom. So I would say, I have no concept of measurement, but I would say maybe like to my hip is some of my containers. They are touching the ground by end of July, mid-August. Vigorous, vigorous growers. Amazing. Start with the SuperTunia. If you got lots of space and you're looking for the most bang for your buck, do the vistas. There's whites, there's pinks, there's purples, lots and lots of options. Keep going? Okay.
Yeah. Morgan said, I know you said Unplugged Red was a new 2025 variety. Is there any other Royales that are going to be new this year?
Well, Morgan, that's a great question, and I don't know the answer. I'm going to be fully transparent. The white is a new variety. I have to use my brain. The Dalias are new. The Dalias are new. The Virtuoso Dalias, love, love, love them. Angel Face White would be new to Proven Winners Direct, and I think we have that in the Royales as well. But the cool thing about our website is it'll tell you. We have the new varieties listed everywhere, and then there's also a green tag that says new right on the product page, so you'll know if it's a new variety, and we have it in the title. So it'll say Unplugged White, new Proven Winners Variety 2025. So that's how you'll know which the newest ones are. Great question, and you stumped me, Morgan.
Charlene says she loves salvia, and Robin says hummingbirds love salvia.
Yes, hummingbirds do love salvia. Most of our thrillers, but hummingbirds will gravitate towards salvia and kufia, the vermilion area. I think we have that in a Royale as well. Beautiful, beautiful plant. All right, so I'm going to talk about if I had to choose a favorite, which everybody laughs at me because anytime I talk about plants, they say they're all my favorite, and they are, and that's true. But if I were to say, if someone were to stop me in the street and say, what's your favorite flower? My answer is Dalia. And this started probably 20 years ago. My mom gifted me a wisteria plant, which is also in my top 5s. Gorgeous, gorgeous, just super invasive. You got to have really strong structure to hold them. But these beautiful purple blooms, hands down, I'd lay on railroad tracks for them. So it started my love of gardening, was that big, beautiful wisteria. And I had this open back porch that was concrete, like old house, built in the, I think, late 1800s. Very, very old house. So everything was old, and it had these huge pillar things. So it was a good structure for wisteria. So I grew one on each side of this little doorway. And that grew up, and it was so beautiful, and I loved it. And so I was just on a mission to find any purple plant I could find. I knew nothing about gardening, nothing. So I was just going to all the garden centers and looking for purple, and I found a dahlia, my first dahlia. It was the most vibrant, beautiful purple, and as the dahlias bloom and open up, they have this like ombre effect. Just fell in love. And actually our vibrant violet, the Virtuoso Vibrant Violet, that's a tongue twister, have that available on the site. That reminds me of my first ever dahlia. That purple color that drew me in. I'm talking these babies push out those beautiful blooms all summer long. And the best part, outside of their literally will make you stop you dead in your tracks, you don't have to do anything to them. That's my favorite part, is finding a plant that I can just kind of let go. I learned my lesson. I grow dahlias every single year, so when Proven Winners increased the line, I was so excited. But I grew the Virtuosos last year, and I tested it out a little bit because they like it dry. They don't like to be fooled with. I do pop off and deadhead, right, because that's going to encourage more blooms. But I don't have to water. I don't really have to fertilize them. They're a set it and forget it beauty. So I tested it a little bit, and I planted jazzberry in front of them. Now, jazzberry, our vistas, our SuperTunias, they do like consistent watering and consistent feeding. So the dahlias didn't do as well. They did not do as well. So that would be one recommendation. If you're new to dahlias, put them in a place that gets full sun. I mean, come on, guys. These are so beautiful. And these are just budding out. So they got a ways to go. But these, they're so stunning. I strongly encourage you to try dahlias, especially if it's something you don't want to fool with. Lots of sun. You can let them dry out. They'll tell you when they're ready. They don't droop a whole lot. They're a nice, strong, sturdy branching. But you'll notice at the bottom of the plant kind of gets droopy. And you're like, okay, it's ready for some water. Do a deep watering. And you probably only have to do it like once a week. They're so easy, and they have just the most amazing, beautiful blooms. Sorry, took a little too much time on my favorite flower. Dahlias for the win.
Charlene asked, do we have bonfire salvia?
I do not recognize that name, so I'm gonna venture to guess we don't. But I'm gonna have to look that up, because now I'm gonna have to know what it looks like.
And Ashley said, last year was my first year planting bubblegum, and we cannot believe how beautiful and big they were by the end of summer.
I know, it's the best. And they keep going. They keep going. Like, you literally have to pull them up when you're ready to transition to your fall colors, or just leave them be and let them go through November. Bubblegum cannot be beat. I am convinced that we could walk the streets anywhere, walk the streets and hand bubblegum to anybody on the streets, and it would convince them to be a gardener, and it would convince them to be sold out for Proven Winners. That's the amazing thing. Garden experience, guys. That's what it's all about. That's what sold me out. I am not good at doing things on schedule. I'm not good at that. And I have a very, very busy, full life that I love. I have 4 children that I adore, and if I get the opportunity to spend time with them, they're teenagers now, I will choose that time over going out to water when I'm supposed to water. Proven Winners plants are so forgiving of me. And if they're forgiving of me, I assure you they will be forgiving of you. I know I can get out here and I'm a crazy plant lady, and I can talk us till our faces are blue about plants. But the reason I'm sold out is because they are forgiving of all of the things that I lack. They're still beautiful. They still bloom. And you'll get on a schedule, learn your plants. I know when I need to water, and I tell them they're pretty when I do, so they're not mad at me. But it's the beauty. They really, truly, the genetics of Proven Winners plants is all built on our success. Even lazy gardeners like me. Lots of side tangents today, guys. Sorry. Good? Keep going? All right, let's talk about grasses, because, man, it took me a little while to really be a believer. And it's not that I never thought that they weren't gorgeous. They're stunning. But I just never had planted them before. So I started with purple fountain mountain grass. This guy is amazing, and I loved it so much. Last year, in the gardens. Our garden designer, Olivia, did this beautiful, beautiful bed. And the center focus was the purple fountain. Just colorful and gorgeous. And when we had our garden friends come in for our garden event, everyone was like, what is that plant? This is one of those stop you in your tracks plant, purple fountain grass. You can plant it in containers. You can plant it in the ground. I recommend the ground because in containers, that root ball gets big. Big. But the benefit, do a really big container, start for your spring combos. You could do anything. You could do the purples, the whites. I mean, literally any color goes with this. And then all you have to do is replace your blooms for the fall, because this is going to keep putting out this amazing color, and it has these gorgeous plumes that come out as they continue to mature. So in the fall, you'll have these amazing plumes, this amazing stack of beautiful purple fountain grass, and then you can add in your fall colors. Chef's kiss. Highly recommend. Great texture. They're called graceful grasses, and it's literally the perfect name because that is what they bring to the garden. That graceful movement, the graceful texture. You know, it's so, I know I get giddy, but like, it's so worth it. They're so beautiful. Purple fountain, strongly recommend. We've got a few different grasses available in the Royales. Also, some of them are perennials for some of you luckies in warmer zones. So if you're planting it in the ground, it's going to come back year after year for you. You cannot beat that. I think this gets, let me tell you, hold on. Yeah, 3 feet tall. I've actually seen it get a little bit taller. About 3 feet tall and wide. It fills out so nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Definite top 10 favorite if I had to narrow it down. Good to keep going? All right. So another powerhouse that I love for the landscape and containers, but really Royales are built for your landscape, is the Truffula. So I've always seen this, and it's been planted in our signature gardens here year after year after year. It's an award-winning, amazing plant that grows for anybody. But the best part, it's another one of those set it and forget it plants. Drought tolerant, heat resistant. Actually, in the heat, boy, it takes off. And it's just got those adorable, they're just adorable little dainty blooms. You want to talk about punch though. This will be covered in those adorable dainty blooms. You will see it from the street. It gets that big and has that many blooms. You will see it from the street. And good cut flower. So that's one of my goals this year. Again, me not being good with doing things on routine and schedule. I struggle a little bit, but that is a goal for mine this year. I want to grow stuff that I can cut and bring inside. Instead of going to the grocery store and buying fresh flowers, I'm going to grow them myself. So dahlias are also good for that. Truffula is those beautiful little accents that you can put in your cut flower bouquets. Lots and lots of awards. I think it's over 50 awards, maybe more than that. Don't quote me, it'll tell you on the website, but lots and lots of awards. Awards aren't just given out for no good reason. Good garden experience.
Jennifer says bubblegum came back 3 years in a row at her home in California, and she loves them.
I love it. Came back 3 years in a row. You can't beat that. Awesome. I wish I could ask. I guess I could. Did it come back this year? Is this your third year? Or are you waiting and this will be your fourth year? Let me know if Jennifer replies to that, because I'm so curious. That's amazing. She's in California, if you didn't hear. And bubblegum came back 3 years in a row for her.
Elizabeth asks, is the purple fountain grass a perennial?
It can be, depending on your zone. I think it's, let me tell you. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Where's my zones? Guys, I don't know how to read a plant tag. I do, but not ours. It's not on here. So it's probably not on here because it's grown as an annual in our greenhouse. Annual except zones 9 through 11. Found it. So if you're in zones 9 to 11, I'd be willing to bet that you could push that to zone 8. Don't hold me to it. But if you're one of those like me who just are like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll follow the rules, not, try it. I bet it would be fine in zone 8 and come back for you.
Patty comments, I get all my PW plants at Schwartz and Romulus.
Love Schwartz. Go there every single year. Huge haul. Love it. See you there. They have really good, lots of varieties of proven winners too if you're in our area. Schwartz Greenhouse. Lots of proven winners. All good? All right, so the last lemon coral I would put in the same category as our SuperTunias. It's beautiful foliage. It looks like it would be pokey. It's not. It's very soft. The cats, local feral cats, would probably love to lay on this like a little cloud of beautiful foliage. But this is another tough as nails. Can't go wrong. Put it in a sunny spot. Don't really have to water it. It's almost succulent-like. So it comes back. I've actually had it come back for me here in zone 6. Not every time, so don't hold me to it. But it would be one of those that you're walking around in the spring, you're like, oh, it came back. One of those little fun surprises. Cannot say enough about lemon coral. Great as ground cover. Great in a container. It's going to spill over, fill up really nice, and come on with that color. You can pair this beautiful chartreuse green with just about anything. I mean, look at how much jazzberry pops off of it. Oh, I love it. So highly recommend lemon coral, especially beginner gardeners. You're looking for easy. It's the way to go. Easy peasy. The next easy peasy on this table is Coleus. So I have seen pictures upon pictures of proven winners Coleus taking up an entire garden bed. And like, that seemed a little crazy to me, right? But it's the beauty is there's so many colors, so many varieties that it literally, you could fill an entire garden bed with just Coleus. Another easy, tough as nails plant. You don't have to do anything to it. They go in the sun, they go in the shade. There's a million different colors. They get this cute little plume of bloom. And some people don't like that, just snip it off. I'll admit, I used them as thrillers in my hay racks. It's been a few years, but the color of the blooms didn't go with the vibe of my hay rack, so I just snipped them off. No big deal. Don't have to deadhead, it's literally one and done. Coleus, super strong, beautiful, beautiful color. Don't have to fool with it. This you could plant in a container all on its own. It would be a stunning, stunning mono container, one plant container. But I highly recommend filling it in with color and green. I mean, gosh, even this is stunning. Wait, hold on, it's gonna get better. Ah! I know it's a little folly, but that's stunning. Coleus is so easy, guys. Lots of varieties to choose from on the website. Highly recommend.
Candace said she planted 21 SuperTunia Saturday, and they had a lot of flowers, but haven't bloomed any additional since. She's in zone 7A. She's watered daily and added Miracle-Gro and asked if it could be transplant shock.
I mean, sure. You're always going to be up against that. But also, if you just planted them Tuesday, it's only been 2 days. So I would come back next Tuesday, and you're going to see a difference. Don't fertilize too heavy right now with your Miracle-Gro. Let them get acclimated. 21, that's going to be gorgeous. But give it some time. Let it rest. Let it settle. And then, I usually give mine a couple of weeks. I always plant with time release fertilizer because that kind of lets it go as the plants need it throughout the season. It lasts up to 3 months. And then after a couple weeks, once they're acclimated, they're used to the sun, they're used to the elements, all the things, then I start hitting it with the water soluble, which would be like your Miracle-Gro that you're using. What you don't want to do is risk upsetting the roots any more than they already are from the transplant. So the fact that it hasn't put out more color yet is not a concern. Give it a week, give it 2, in 3 weeks you'll really be blown away. But that's going to be gorgeous. Send us pictures.
Michelle said she had a perennial and an annual fountain grass and believes the annual is more purple than the perennial.
Oh, that's a very good point. I'm not sure. I can't confirm or deny that, Michelle. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I would like the more purple, I think. Good? Okay. One more. I think I've covered all. One more. I'm going to talk about Miss Susan, our black-eyed Susan vines. I had never grown this before. To me, when I hear black-eyed Susan vine, it feels very traditional. I have family in West Virginia, and one of my great aunts, she had black-eyed Susan vine. I remember that going as a little girl and visiting and seeing that beautiful bright bloom. She was a hummingbird lover. I've never seen so many hummingbird feeders than on her porch, and we would just sit out there and they would just come in droves, along with the rattlesnakes, but she took care of those. But anyways, that was my first kind of like experience with a black-eyed Susan vine. These things are so vibrant and so beautiful. We have a couple different colors. There's the yellow, there's the orange, and there's the white. So I grew the white. I love white blooms. Moon gardens, love them. And you wouldn't think starting off with something like this, you know, kind of like when you first buy a clematis. You know, when you first buy it, the first year it takes a little bit, but then all of a sudden the second season you're like, holy cow, that's all the way up the trellis. These guys take off. They take off and they're so easy, and they keep pushing out those tropical vibe blooms. And I feel like they have that because it's a black-eyed Susan vine. I feel like it has that nice traditional feeling and vibe to it too. Highly recommend these if you're looking for a climber. Put it in the middle of your container with a nice, beautiful trellis of your liking, and it's going to keep climbing up. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Any others?
Yeah, Nicole says everything is so beautiful to her that she needs a garden plan to go from. Are there any suggestions from someone who could help put beautiful combinations together in her yard?
So there's a couple different ways we could do that. I don't think okay, first thing in terms of combinations, we have a button on the website. It's a beautiful picture of this amazing combination. It's primary colors, all the colors in the color wheel, all in one pot. But it's titled Perfect Pairings. So Proven Winners has just hundreds of thousands of different combination plants that have been grown and tested and trialed. So you know that if you're planting this combination, it's going to be successful. So what we did was we created a perfect pairing combination thing right on our website. If you click on that on the main page, it's going to show you a bunch of different combinations, Proven Winners combinations. And then what we did was we pieced out those combinations by plants. So, and it'll tell you right on the product page how many of each plant you need. And when you click add to cart, it's going to add all those components right to the cart for you. So if you're looking for the easiest way to build stunning, award-winning combinations, start there. Start with something that's already been grown. You know it's going to be successful. The plants have the same type of growth rate, or they all go in the sun, or they all go in the shade. The work's all been done for you. Once you feel comfortable in that and you've grown a couple combinations, then I highly recommend you get creative. I highly recommend, that's my most favorite part, is coming up with my combinations. And again, I'm not a rule follower. That's why I strongly recommend planting what's proven and what you know is going to work until you get a feel for it. But really what I do is I kind of start with a vibe. Like what's my vibe this year? I haven't figured mine out yet for this year, but I've done like a smoothie, a tropical smoothie, and then I did like all the primary colors the year before that. I always do purple in my front because purple is my favorite, and I love pulling up to a purple yard. But pick your favorite color, start there. Find a plant, like, okay, so your favorite color is purple. You find jazzberry, right? You love this purple and jazzberry. Or royal velvet, which is that beautiful, real classy, rich, deep purple. Find your favorite color, find the plant that's that color. Figure out, okay, how much does it grow? The plant tag will tell you all the information you need to know, as well as our website if you're shopping online. And then you know, okay, that goes in part to full sun. So I need to find a plant that's going to be a little bit taller and grow in part to full sun. That's your filler and probably your spiller. And then you need to find your thriller, your tall plant. You just make sure that it grows in the same lighting conditions. And then you can find other coordinating plants based on whatever colors you like. Really, it's all about pairing them together with the right lighting conditions and the right watering conditions. And all of that work is done for you. Just a little bit of looking on the product page, but you can be so creative. And I push the limits all the time. I put way too many plants in my combinations, which only means that I end up having to water more, but I don't care. I love it. I love a full look right from the start. But it's so fun to plant what you like and what lights your soul on fire. That's the best part of gardening. So start with something that's already done for you, or we also have 6.5-inch combinations. Those are combinations that are already planted up into one container. Super easy. Also on the website, you'll be able to find them. But yeah, really, I'm a follow your heart kind of girl when it comes to combos, and don't be afraid. The beautiful thing is the majority of the plants, the majority of annuals are either part sun part sun to full sun, or part shade to full shade. Sorry, I can't get that out. Sun or shade. That's really what it boils down to. And the scope is very large. So you have plenty of choices, which I know that choice overload can be rough, but that's why we've got all that work done for you. And you can search too on provenwinners.com. They have an amazing, just pages upon pages upon pages upon pages of combinations. Find something you like, get the plants, or on ours, it'll do it all for you. Wow, tangents.
Couple comments from earlier questions. Candace said, thank you for the SuperTunia advice.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the comment.
And Jennifer, who had the SuperTunia Vista bubblegum grow 3 years in a row, she said as of spring 2024, it was 3 years. However, she moved to Kansas City April of 2024, planted them there, left them through the winter to see if anything would happen. Unfortunately, it didn't have the same results as California.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll do it. So maybe they came back for the new owners and you made their whole gardening season worth it. Aw, that's so cool. 3 years, SuperTunia bubblegum, back in a row. I love it. All right, if we're good, I think I'm good. I've talked about all of my favorite pretties. Again, these are Royales, limited edition. When they're gone, they're gone. Here's the thing. If you're shopping right now, you can use discount code, I forgot it, LIVE51. Thank you. LIVE51, LIVE51. You'll get an additional 10% off already discounted prices. This discount code is good for 24 hours. LIVE51, live in today's date. You get 10% off all that you see here and all of our other Royales on the site. They're perfect for the landscape, instant impact. We've been growing them much longer, so they are so ready to find their new homes in your gardens. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week at 2 p.m. Adios. Bye. Thanks for watching.